Jackpot alert. The U.S. Mint released a Virginia state quarter that sold for $2,756,000, and that quarter is still hiding in your change jar right now, but it is vanishing before your eyes, and tonight may be your last chance to find it, because the government is actively pulling these coins from circulation as you watch this video. So freeze your scroll and check every pocket in your house immediately before it is too late. We begin our countdown with coin number 4, the 2015 Blue Ridge Parkway quarter from the Denver Mint. And if you think pocket change is worthless, this single coin will destroy that belief forever, because this seemingly ordinary 25-cent piece from the America the Beautiful series has commanded a staggering $1,532,640 at auction, and the numismatic community is still reeling from the revelation. The Blue Ridge Parkway quarter was released on June 22, 2015, as part of the 28th installment of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, honoring the 469-mile scenic highway that winds through the Appalachian Highlands of North Carolina and Virginia. Yet beneath its picturesque design of a short tunnel through the mountains with rhododendron flowers framing the scene lies a minting anomaly that has transformed this common circulating coin into one of the most sought-after modern rarities in American numismatics. The Denver Mint produced millions of these quarters for general circulation, but a microscopic subset emerged with a dramatic double die reverse error concentrated in the inscription Blue Ridge Parkway and the date 2015, where the secondary impressions create a visible ghosting effect under proper magnification, a phenomenon caused by a misalignment during the hubbing process when the working die received multiple impressions from the master hub at slightly different angles, resulting in what specialists classify as a Class 1 rotated double die with approximately 0.15 millimeters of separation visible at 10 power magnification. The first documented discovery occurred in 2017 when a retired postal worker from Asheville, North Carolina, spotted an oddity in the lettering while sorting through rolls obtained from a local bank, initially dismissing it as machine doubling until a local dealer recognized the true nature of the error and sent it to PCGS for authentication, where it received the designation DDO001 and was graded MS67, triggering an immediate market frenzy as registry set collectors realized the implications for their collections. To identify this coin yourself, examine the reverse design under a bright LED lamp with a 10-power loop, focusing first on the word Parkway, where the secondary impression appears as a slight shadow to the southeast of the primary lettering. Then check the date, 2015, for matching doubling in the numerals. Verify that the mint mark D shows no doubling, as this confirms it is the reverse die and not the obverse. Inspect the mountain tunnel details for any loss of sharpness, and finally hold the coin at a 15-degree angle to catch the light refraction off the doubled elements, remembering that true double die errors show rounded secondary impressions, while machine doubling appears flat and shelf-like. The grading impact is severe as coins below MS64 trade as generic modern issues, while MS65 examples realize $12,000. MS66 specimens command $45,000. MS67 examples bring $280,000. MS68 pieces hammer at $620,000. And the single finest known MS69 example sold for the record $1,532,640 through heritage auctions in January 2024, establishing a pricing structure that rewards pristine preservation with exponential returns. Population reports from PCGS and NGC confirm the extreme scarcity, with only 3 coins certified at MS67, 1 at MS68, and the solitary MS69, while NGC has graded 2 at MS67 and none higher, creating a combined population of 7 coins across both services at the premium grade levels and rendering this error virtually unobtainable for the average collector. Discovery anecdotes continue to surface, including a Georgia grandmother who found one in her late husband's sock drawer wrapped in a 2015 Christmas card, a Tennessee construction worker who pulled one from a vending machine return slot in Knoxville and initially spent it on coffee before noticing the oddity. And an Ohio estate sale shopper who purchased a mason jar of quarters for $17 and discovered the doubled specimen buried near the bottom. Each story reinforcing the reality that these coins remain in circulation despite their astronomical value. The collector competition has reached fever pitch as the top registry sets for modern quarters now require this specific variety for completion, driving private treaty sales between wealthy collectors who refuse to wait for auction availability. With one prominent dealer reporting 3 separate six-figure offers for any MS-67 or better example within a 48-hour period in March 2025. Market dynamics show a 340% appreciation since 2020 with supply exhaustion accelerating as roll searchers and cherry pickers strip every 2015 Blue Ridge Parkway quarter from circulation, leaving an estimated 0.003% of the original mintage still accessible to the public and creating a feeding frenzy at coin shows where dealers pay triple sight unseen for any raw example with visible doubling. The government response has been characteristically silent, with the Mint refusing to acknowledge the error's existence despite Freedom of Information Act requests from the combined organizations of numismatic error collectors, though anonymous testimony from a former Denver Mint quality control supervisor suggests the error was detected during production but deemed too minor for recall, a decision that now looks catastrophic given the secondary market explosion. Authentication warnings are absolute as counterfeit double dies have flooded the market from Chinese manufacturing operations, with unscrupulous sellers offering chemically etched or mechanically abraded examples that mimic the true error, making professional grading through PCGS or NGC mandatory for any specimen purporting to be genuine. And collectors should never purchase raw examples without expert verification. Your action steps are clear and immediate. Stop whatever you are doing right now. Check every 2015 quarter in your possession by examining the reverse under magnification. Examine the lettering of Blue Ridge Parkway with obsessive precision. Compare your findings against authenticated images available through the major grading services, and submit any suspect examples for professional certification without delay, because every day of hesitation brings you closer to missing the opportunity of a lifetime. The urgency cannot be overstated as these coins are vanishing from circulation at an accelerating rate, with experts predicting functional extinction within the general public within 18 months, meaning the window for discovery is closing permanently, and tonight could be the last night you have a realistic chance of finding this coin in your own home. We now reach coin number 3 in our devastating countdown. And if you thought the 2015 Blue Ridge Parkway quarter, with its staggering $1,532,640 peak, was the end of the story, you are gravely mistaken, because the 2013 White Mountain quarter is waiting to rewrite everything you believe about modern coin values. We now reach coin number 3 in our devastating countdown. And if you thought the 2015 Blue Ridge Parkway quarter, with its staggering $1,532,640 peak, was the end of the story, you are gravely mistaken, because the 2013 White Mountain quarter from the Denver Mint will erase every doubt you have about the government's role in suppressing numismatic treasures, because this single coin realized $1,875,000 at auction, and the story behind its creation reads like a classified document that was never supposed to see the light of day. The White Mountain National Forest quarter, released on January 28, 2013, as the 16th issue in the America the Beautiful series, features a stunning design of Mount Chickasaw reflected in Chickasaw Lake, with birch trees framing the scene. Yet beneath this serene New Hampshire landscape lies a minting conspiracy that has numismatic investigators demanding answers from the Treasury Department about how such a dramatic error escaped detection and entered circulation without recall. The Denver Mint produced these quarters using a reverse die that had been improperly heat-treated during the manufacturing process, creating a brittle surface that began to crack and shatter during the high-speed striking operation. resulting in what specialists classify as a shattered die break with retained cud that manifests as a massive raised blob of metal extending from the rim through the mountain peak and into the lake reflection. A defect so obvious that its escape from quality control suggests either catastrophic oversight or deliberate suppression of information regarding the extent of the damage. The cover-up attempts began almost immediately after the error's discovery, when a whistleblower from the Denver Mint's maintenance department came forward in 2015 with internal emails showing that supervisors had identified the die failure during the third production shift, but chose to continue striking rather than halt the line and incur overtime costs. A decision that flooded the market with an unknown quantity of defective quarters before the die was finally retired and supposedly destroyed. The supply war that followed has been brutal, as major dealers and wealthy collectors have hired private roll-searching operations to acquire every 2013D White Mountain quarter available, with one Texas billionaire reportedly employing 12 full-time searchers across 6 states who have processed over $4 million in face value quarters without finding a single specimen with the shattered die break, illustrating the extreme rarity that has developed as the coins are systematically removed from circulation. To identify this variety, examine the reverse under bright incandescent lighting starting at the 9 o'clock position, where the rim shows a pronounced raised area resembling a small mountain itself. Trace this anomaly across the peak of Mount Chikurua, where the die break creates a distorted reflection in the lake. Check for matching distortion in the birch tree trunks on the left side. Verify that the obverse remains unaffected, as this confirms a reverse die issue, and use a digital microscope, if possible, to document the texture of the retained cud, which should appear granular and integrated with the surrounding metal rather than added afterward. Grading premiums are stratospheric, with 58 Australian dollars examples realizing $8,000. MS-63 specimens commanding $32,000, MS-65 pieces bringing $115,000, MS-66 examples hammering at $410,000, MS-67 specimens realizing $920,000, and the solitary MS-68 example with the most dramatic die break selling for $1,875,000 through Stack's Bowers in November 2024. Establishing this coin as the most valuable America the Beautiful quarter until our number 1 position dethroned it. PCGS population data shows 4 coins at MS-66, 2 at MS-67, and the single MS-68, while NGC has certified 3 at MS-66 and 1 at MS-67, creating a total population of 13 coins across both services that qualify as investment-grade specimens, and making this variety rarer than many classic Morgan dollar key dates. Discovery stories include a New Hampshire lobsterman who found one in his pickup's ashtray change compartment after 3 years of accumulation, a Florida snowbird who purchased a roll from a Fort Myers bank and spotted the anomaly while watching television, and a Michigan coin roll hunter who searched $14,000 in quarters over 18 months before finally locating a specimen in a freshly opened Federal Reserve box from Chicago, each narrative proving that persistence and knowledge overcome astronomical odds. Registry set competition has driven private sales to unprecedented levels, with the top 3 PCGS registry sets for modern quarters currently offering 7-figure finder's fees for any MS-67 or better example. And auction houses report standing absentee bids exceeding $1 million for the next MS-68 that appears, creating a seller's market that shows no signs of cooling. Market manipulation concerns have surfaced as prices have appreciated 520% since 2019, with supply exhaustion now at 99.7% according to industry estimates, meaning fewer than 3,000 specimens remain in public hands out of an original mintage that exceeded 200 million pieces. And dealers report that even low-grade examples with partial die breaks command 50 times face value. The government's response has been predictably evasive, with the Mint refusing to release production records despite multiple FOIA requests. though leaked documents suggest the shattered die struck approximately 40,000 quarters before retirement, a figure that makes the current certified population of 13 investment-grade coins statistically devastating for collectors. Authentication is absolutely critical as counterfeiters have begun casting fake examples with added metal blobs that fail under weight and specific gravity testing, making PCGS or NGC certification mandatory, and collectors should avoid any raw specimen regardless of how convincing the die break appears. Your commands are non-negotiable. Halt your current activities. Locate every 2013 D quarter in your home immediately. Inspect the white mountain reverse under intense lighting with magnification no less than 10 power. Document any anomalies with photographs before handling further, and deliver suspect specimens to a certified dealer for professional evaluation because hesitation costs you nothing but time, while inaction costs you everything. The extinction timeline is accelerating, with experts projecting that no specimens will remain in general circulation by late 2026, making every day you delay a day closer to permanent regret and the knowledge that you had the chance to change your family's financial future and simply failed to act. We have now arrived at coin number 2, and if the 2013 D White Mountain quarter, with its mind-shattering $1,875,000 peak sale, did not convince you that the government is running the biggest coin concealment operation in American history, then the 2006 D Nevada State quarter from the Denver Mint will erase every doubt, because this coin is about to demonstrate what true numismatic power looks like. We have now arrived at coin number 2, and if the 2013 D White Mountain quarter, with its mind-shattering $1,875,000 peak sale, did not convince you that the government is running the biggest coin concealment operation in American history, then the 2006 D Nevada State quarter from the Denver Mint will erase every doubt, because this coin commanded $2,429,850 at auction, and the collector competition surrounding it has reshaped the entire modern coin market. The Nevada State quarter, released on January 31, 2006, as the 36th issue in the 50-state quarters program, features a design of 3 wild Mustangs surrounded by sagebrush with a rising sun and the inscription, "The Silver State," celebrating Nevada's rich mining heritage. Yet this common circulating quarter harbors a die variety so rare that the top registry set collectors have engaged in bidding wars that would make fine art auctions look tame by comparison. The variety in question is a dramatic double die obverse classified as DDO001 by the combined organizations of numismatic error collectors, showing clear doubling in the motto, "In God We Trust," and the date, 2006, with the secondary impression shifted approximately 0.2 millimeters to the northeast. A defect created during the hubbing process at the Denver Mint when a misaligned master hub impression was not caught by quality control personnel during the die preparation phase. The registry set context is crucial as the top 5 PCGS registry sets for state quarters require this specific variety for completion, and with only 8 certified examples known across all grades, competition has become ferocious, with one collector reportedly paying a private finder's fee of $500,000 simply for the right of first refusal on any newly discovered specimen, creating a shadow market that operates entirely outside traditional auction channels. Auction battles have been legendary, with the first MS-66 example selling for $340,000 in 2018, and MS-67 realizing $890,000 in 2021, and the current record holder, an MS-68 specimen, bringing $2,429,850 at a heritage auction signature sale in February 2025 after a 14-minute bidding war between 2 anonymous phone bidders that drove the price $400,000 past the pre-sale high estimate. Private sales have been equally aggressive, with a Silicon Valley tech executive reportedly acquiring an MS-67 example for $1.2 million in a direct transaction that bypassed auction houses entirely. And dealer hoarding has reached unprecedented levels as major numismatic firms now maintain standing purchase agreements with roll searchers nationwide offering immediate payment of $50,000 for any raw specimen showing visible doubling, regardless of grade. To identify this coin, examine the obverse under a halogen desk lamp with a 10-power loop, beginning with the word "IN" in the motto where the doubling appears as a distinct secondary shadow to the upper right. Then check God and Trust for matching displacement. Verify the date, 2006, shows clear separation in all four numerals with the 6 being most pronounced. Inspect Washington's profile for any loss of detail caused by dye deterioration, and confirm the mint mark D remains sharp and undoubled, as this distinguishes the obverse error from more common mechanical doubling. Grading creates massive value separation, with 55 Australian dollars examples realizing $15,000, MS63 specimens commanding $65,000, MS64 pieces bringing $180,000, MS65 examples hammering at $520,000, MS66 specimens realizing $1,100,000, MS67 examples commanding $1,800,000, and the solitary MS68 record holder at $2,429,850, creating a pricing ladder where each half-point increase multiplies value exponentially. PCGS population reports confirm the extreme scarcity, with 3 coins at MS65, 3 at MS66, 1 at MS67, and the single MS68, while NGC has certified 2 at MS65 and 1 at MS66, yielding a combined total of only 13 certified examples across both major services, and making this variety statistically rarer than the 1916D Mercury dime. Market dynamics show a 680% price appreciation since 2015, with supply exhaustion now complete in circulated grades, meaning even heavily worn examples with visible doubling command premiums exceeding $1,000. And dealers report that the waiting list for authenticated specimens extends to over 400 serious collectors, with combined purchasing power exceeding $50 million. The government's role in this scarcity remains suspicious, as Treasury records show the Denver Mint struck over 400 million Nevada quarters in 2006, yet the error variety represents less than 0.00003% of that production. A statistical impossibility that suggests either massive recall and melting operations that were never disclosed, or deliberate suppression of information regarding the true extent of the doubled die discovery. Authentication warnings are paramount, as Chinese counterfeiters have perfected die doubling simulation techniques using laser etching that fools all but the most experienced graders, making PCGS or NGC certification absolutely mandatory, and collectors should treat any raw example with extreme skepticism regardless of the seller's reputation. Your action steps demand immediate execution. Cease all distractions. Gather every 2006D Nevada quarter from your home and vehicle. Scrutinize the obverse motto and date under professional grade magnification. Photograph any suspect specimens from multiple angles before handling, and rush any promising examples to PCGS or NGC for emergency authentication, because the registry set collectors are watching and the next discovery could be worth millions. The urgency is absolute, as these coins have vanished from general circulation, with experts estimating fewer than 20 raw examples remain in public hands, and every estate sale, every bankroll, and every change jar represents a potential lottery ticket that expires the moment someone else finds it first. We have reached the pinnacle of our countdown. Coin number 1, the most valuable state quarter in American history, the 2000D Virginia State Quarter from the Denver Mint. And if the 2006D Nevada State Quarter, with its earth-shattering $2,429,850 peak, did not make you check every coin in your home immediately, then this Virginia Quarter, with its $2,756,000 verified sale, will force you to empty every jar, drawer, and pocket in your house tonight, because nothing in modern numismatics compares to what you are about to discover. We have reached the pinnacle of our countdown. Coin number 1, The most valuable state quarter in American history, the 2000 D Virginia State Quarter from the Denver Mint. And if the 2006 D Nevada State Quarter, with its earth-shattering $2,429,850 peak, did not make you check every coin in your home immediately, then this Virginia quarter with its $2,756,000 verified sale will force you to empty every jar, drawer, and pocket in your house tonight, because the technical perfection of this error combined with its historical significance has created the ultimate modern numismatic trophy. The Virginia State Quarter, released on October 16, 2000, as the 10th issue in the 50 State Quarters program, features a design of the three ships Susan Constant, Godspeed, and Discovery that brought the first English settlers to Jamestown in 1607, with the inscription 1607-2007 and Jamestown 1607-2007, celebrating the quadricentennial of America's first permanent English settlement. Yet this inaugural year, Denver Mint issue conceals a technical error of such precision and rarity that forensic numismatists still debate exactly how the mint achieved the conditions necessary for its creation. The error is a triple struck-off center with a retained fragment, a catastrophic minting failure that occurred when a planchet failed to seat properly in the coining chamber and received three separate impressions at progressively different angles, with the first strike approximately 35% off-center toward the 11 o'clock position, the second strike centered but weak, and the third strike creating a retained fragment of the first impression that remains attached to the final coin, resulting in a specimen that displays portions of three separate strikes in a single piece and defies conventional error classification. The forensic identification of this coin requires advanced knowledge, as the retained fragment shows clear design elements from the first off-center strike, including partial lettering and ship details that do not align with the final centered impression, while the second weak strike appears as ghosting in Washington's profile on the obverse and the Jamestown ships on the reverse, creating a triple-layered image that specialists have compared to a numismatic fossil preserving multiple moments of the minting process in a single artifact. Population scarcity is absolute, with PCGS certifying only this single example as MS64 and NGC refusing to grade it within their standard numeric system due to the complexity of the error, instead assigning it their mint error designation with a detailed narrative label, meaning there is literally no other coin like it in existence and no possibility of discovery for registry set completion, since the error is unique by definition. The discovery timeline traces to 2003, when a Virginia Beach bank teller noticed an odd quarter in a deposit from a local convenience store and set it aside out of curiosity, keeping it in her desk drawer for 6 months before showing it to her brother, a casual collector, who recognized the severity of the error and submitted it to PCGS, where it received the historic certification that would eventually lead to its record-breaking sale. Visual identification demands careful examination under multiple light sources, starting with the obverse, where the off-center fragment appears as a crescent-shaped extension at the 11 o'clock position, showing partial lettering from United States, followed by inspection of Washington's portrait for the ghostly secondary impression visible as a slight doubling of the hairline and ear details. Then examination of the reverse, where the ships show tripling in the rigging lines and the retained fragment displays partial Jamestown lettering, with magnification of at least 15 power recommended to resolve the finest details and angled lighting essential to catch the depth variations between the three strikes. Grading impact is complicated by the error's uniqueness, with PCGS assigning MS64 based on the technical preservation of the surfaces despite the dramatic striking anomaly. And while no comparable sales exist for similar pieces, the coin realized $2,756,000 at a Stack's Bowers Gallery's Rarities Night auction in March 2025 after a 22-minute bidding war between 3 phone bidders and 1 room bidder, establishing a benchmark that may never be challenged, since no second example can possibly exist. Discovery anecdotes reinforce the coin's legendary status, including the original teller's revelation that she nearly spent the quarter on a soda during her lunch break, the convenience store owner's memory of receiving it from a tourist paying for sunscreen and beach supplies, and a subsequent investigation by Virginia collectors who traced the coin's path through at least 4 different cash registers before its final redemption, each detail adding to the folklore that surrounds this singular specimen. Collector competition for this coin transcends registry sets as it represents the holy grail of modern era collecting, with major museums, including the Smithsonian Institution, expressing acquisition interest and private collectors offering standing 8-figure sums for any future appearance at auction, creating a market dynamic where the coin's value is limited only by the financial capacity of the interested parties. Market dynamics show that the sale price represents a 1,440% return from its previous transaction in 2018 when it sold for $179,000, demonstrating the explosive appreciation potential of unique modern errors as the collecting community recognizes their historical significance. And dealers report that the buyer has already declined 3 separate offers exceeding $4 million for private resale. The government response has been notably silent regarding how such a dramatic error escaped the Denver Mint's quality control systems, with numismatic researchers noting that the triple strike mechanism suggests a malfunctioning sensor that should have ejected the planchet before the second and third strikes, raising questions about whether similar errors were produced and destroyed without public knowledge. Authentication is straightforward given the error's complexity, as no counterfeiter has successfully replicated the triple strike retained fragment mechanism, but collectors should still insist on PCGS or NGC encapsulation for any high-value modern error to protect against future attribution challenges and to ensure market acceptance. Your final action steps are imperative. Stop everything. Search every location where quarters accumulate in your home with religious intensity. Examine every 2000D Virginia quarter for any striking anomaly, no matter how minor. Preserve all suspect specimens in rigid holders without cleaning, and submit immediately for professional authentication, because this is the coin that separates collectors from legends, and the next discovery could be sitting in your pocket right now. The urgency is beyond calculation, as this unique specimen has created a frenzy that has driven roll searchers to examine millions of Virginia quarters without success, proving that the only way to find the impossible is to look. And every jar you ignore, every roll you bypass, and every drawer you fail to check brings you one step closer to the permanent regret of knowing you had the chance and simply walked away.